Hello, this is Dr. Missick. I want to talk about the Phillip Anthony Missick Memorial Menorah. And my father recently passed away, and he left an unfinished project, which we're going to look at in this video. And what he was trying to do was create the first and only historically accurate recreation or a model of the menorah from the tabernacle in the temple. So what he did was he looked at the Arch of Titus, which is a depiction of the menorah, and the scripture, and did a background deep dive of Bible studies, and worked to recreate the menorah as it looked, at least at the time of Jesus. So this is a very important piece of art. It's unique, it's important, it has tremendous biblical and cultural and educational value. And unfortunately got all the parts done, but not put together. And since he tragically passed away, what I would like to do in his honor and in his memory is to assemble this menorah and just use it. Use it to educate people about this important furnishing of the tabernacle. So the Lord commanded Moses to build a menorah, a 7-branch candle stand. Had lampstands, actually, not candles. It's we'll see, it looked like a tree, which probably symbolized the tree of life. And it was across from the table, shewbread, and then you'd have the altar of incense, and then the veil, and beyond the veil is the Ark of the Covenant, which represented the throne of God. So the menorah is very important. There were several menorahs in Herod's temple, and it's become a symbol of Hanukkah. And actually, the menorah is probably the symbol of Judaism, of the Jewish people, before it was displaced by the Star of David. And the menorah is a biblical symbol. It's from God's sanctuary. God commanded that this menorah, the lampstand, be built. So it's a biblical symbol, but it's a symbol of the Jewish people until the Star of David, which I'm not knocking the Star of David, but it doesn't really have any biblical significance, at least not the level we see of the menorah. And in fact, the Great Seal of the State of Israel is the menorah. And oddly enough, if you see, there's menorahs all over the place, menorahs galore, but none of them are biblically or historically accurate. And the Romans created a replica in relief in the Arch of Titus of the menorah. It was on display in Rome for some time. And so we know what it looked like. But oddly, no one's ever built a replica before my father began doing it. So in his memory, after he's tragically passed away, we're going to try to build it. If you want to help with this endeavor, I'll try to do, I don't know, a GoFundMe or something to raise the funds to finish this important work of art. And I'm going to put some videos together so you can see what he was doing, so he can bring this work of art into completion. As a memory of him. It will be the Phillip Anthony Missick Memorial Menorah, and it's something that will be very unique. And I've done a lot of research on the menorah myself, and I'm really surprised that no one has done an accurate replica. I think part of it is because you have the is it pomegranate and almonds and almond buds going around the menorah. For some reason, people don't duplicate that, even though it's described that way in the Bible. I want to read from the Bible the description of what the menorah looked like from the book of Exodus 25:31-40. It says, "You are to make a menorah of pure gold. It is to be made of hammered work, with its base, shaft, cups, and rings of outer leaves and petals are to be one piece with it. It is to have 6 branches extending from its sides, 3 branches of the menorah on one side and 3 on the other. On the one branch to be 3 cups shaped like almond blossoms, each with a ring of outer leaves and petals. Likewise, in the opposite branch, 3 cups shaped like almond blossoms, each with a ring and outer leaves and petals. Similarly for all 6 branches extending from the menorah. On the central shaft of the menorah are to be 4 cups shaped like almond blossoms, each with this ring of outer leaves and petals. Where each pair of branches joins the central shaft, there shall be a ring of outer leaves of one piece with the pair of branches, thus for all 6 branches. The rings of the outer leaves and their branches are to be of one piece with the shaft. The whole menorah is to be a single piece of hammered work of pure gold. Make 7 lamps for the menorah, and mount them as to give light to the space in front of it. Its tongs and trays are to be pure gold. The menorah's utensils are to be made of 36 pounds of pure gold. 66 pounds of pure gold. See that you make them according to the design which is shown you on the mountain. I think part of the problem is on the base of the menorah, as shown in the Arch of Titus, you have like serpents and I guess behemoths and leviathans, these chaos monsters. However, that may have had some kind of symbolic value, which may go back into the time of Moses, where the base is like steps. You'd step on it to light the lamps, and it could be symbolic of, as Scripture says, trampling on serpents and scorpions. So it could have had some kind of symbolic value to that. And also, the menorah is shaped like an almond tree. So there's a lot of important symbolism in there. This, regardless about the debate of what it looked like, we do have an eyewitness recreation. In relief, we're going to have a freestanding 3D sculpture of the menorah as it's depicted in the Arch of Titus, which was created by eyewitnesses who probably didn't have any motive for causing it to look any different than it actually did. And I guess there's controversies among rabbis about what the menorah looked like, but I think we have to go by what the Bible says and how eyewitnesses depicted it, and review and judge what the rabbis say in light of the archaeological evidence, the biblical evidence. So this is a very important and unique recreation of the menorah, and hopefully we'll have this completed, and it'll be there as a legacy of my father and something that will really advance Bible knowledge around the world. Hello, I'm Dr. Stephen Andrew Missick, and we're going to look at this replica of the menorah from the Arch of Titus, which is a work in progress. You can see here the reliefs which were on the Arch of Titus. These decorations, they were on the base, and we're going to have on the top of, it's going to go like, see here, we finish it. So this is the size of proportions is going to be. How this works, as you can see, we have a 7-branched lampstand, and we have these lamps which are like oil lamps, and there were 7 of them, and they were connected to the stands here, and the priest would come and light them, and there were 7 of these lamps on these posts. So this is built according to the description found in the Bible, book of Exodus and Numbers, and also in accordance to the replica that's seen on the Arch of Titus in Rome. So it's going to be accurate from the 7 branches to the lamps on the lampstands, the base showing the reliefs as depicted on the replica of the menorah, which is seen in the Arch of Titus in Rome. You see more of these replicas of the images which are seen on the base of the menorah, and we're going to have this accurate replica completed so everyone can see what the menorah from the Bible looked like. So this is, we got 1 branch already done. So wow. Here, cool. And it's going to be both sides. See what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
When we finish it.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll have this menorah completed pretty soon. So we have this menorah, the 7-branch candlestick, and as you can see here, there's little lamps, like an Aladdin lamp,
yeah.
oil lamp, and they would go on. They're connected, and apparently
Right.
you can spin them around
Yeah.
and fill them with oil.
Wow.
So this is an accurate replica based on the Arch of Titus. You see the reliefs down
Yeah.
here. Like I said, this is according to the, you have a bud and an almond going all the way across.
Too
just like I
bad you
said.
couldn't have it done before your dad passed.
Well, we're going to do this in memory of my father.
That'd be good.
It's going to be the Phillip Anthony Missick Memorial Menorah. So, I'll let up Joseph, and we'll put this here so that people can see, what it's going to look like. Of course, it's going to be all colored gold once we finish. And this is going to be the only accurate full-scale replica, because you can see the Roman soldiers carrying this, so you can gauge
Right.
the size of it. So this is going to be authentic replica based on the biblical description, the biblical account, and the depiction, which is created by eyewitnesses, the Romans after they.
I've actually seen the Arch of Titus in person.
So Joseph went on a vacation with his wife Joyce. And was able to-
18 years ago, we went to Rome, Italy, and we were able to see the Arch of Titus
Right.
in
So-
person in the Colosseum.
Right. So you can see actually archaeologists believe that the Colosseum was built with the treasures plundered from the temple.
It probably was, but it wasn't the first place where the Christians were killed. They were killed in the Circus Maximus, which is portrayed in Ben-Hur, and also the Circus Nero is where St. Peter's is today. And that's where they say that Peter and Paul were executed by Nero
Yes. So
when
this
he
will be
was Caesar.
this will be a very important reconstruction to recreate the world of the Bible.
Right?
We're working on the construction of a menorah. And here's a Bible. It's got a picture of the menorah in it. It's the golden lampstand. It's described in the Bible in Exodus 25. It's part of furnishings of the temple. You had the Ark of the Covenant, the bronze laver, the altar of burnt offering, incense altar, table of showbread, and the menorah that were kept in the tabernacle, as we see the picture here. And there's a layout of the tabernacle. And the menorah, the 7-branch lampstand, is described in chapter 25 of the book of Exodus, starting at verse 31. It says, "You shall also make a lampstand of pure gold. The lampstand shall be of hammered work. Its shaft, its branches, its bowls, its ornamental knobs, its flowers shall be of one piece. And 6 branches shall come out of its side, 3 branches on the lampstand out of one side, and 3 branches of the lampstand on the other side. 3 bowls shall be made like almond blossoms, and 1 branch with an ornamental knob and a flower, and 3 bowls made like an almond blossoms on the other branch." So it goes on with this description. Now, what did the menorah look like? Well, we have a pretty good idea based on the Arch of Titus. Titus is the one who was able to take Jerusalem and conquer the Jewish people after the Jewish wars, which began by his father Vespasian. Titus is the one who destroyed the temple where the furnishings of the tabernacle were used. And to celebrate his victory over the Jews in the year 70 AD, an arch was built called the Arch of Titus. And one of the decorations of the Arch of Titus shows silver trumpets and from the temple and the menorah. So here's a picture, of what the menorah looked like. And here's a close-up photograph of it. An interesting thing is you can see on the base of the picture, the base of the menorah, there were some creatures. They seem to be winged dragon type creatures, similar to the cherubim on the Ark of the Covenant. And here we see little pictures of these creatures. And so here's what we're working on. We have a little reproduction here and some designs. And here on the wall is a full-scale menorah. It's about, how tall is it, Dad? 5 feet?
About 5 feet.
5 feet tall. So this is a drawing. This is going to be the full size. It has to blow up full size And there's my dad, Phillip Missick, who's working on this new menorah. And over here, we got the creatures. This is a full scale, right?
Yeah,
Huh?
that's the product size. They would have been two kind of sea creatures with wings, kind of a cherubim. We don't fully understand what they're representing. The Bible does mention Rahab, the sea serpent, that Yahweh had victory over. And
That's in
crushed
Isaiah.
In Isaiah, but so there's references to evil creatures as well. These are kind of reptilian with wings, perhaps, and they're under. It's like God, Yahweh, is above, and these forces of darkness are subterranean.
So I was going to look at this little thing. He made a, this is a,
This is a mold for these. We're going to cast this. So it's a mold for the arms of the candlestick. It's an almond branch.
just like I read from the Bible.
Did you read it?
Yes, I read it just a moment ago.
So you've got a blossom, you've got a bud, a knop, a blossom, and a series of these form the arms.
So what we discovered in your research is that on the top of the arms of the candle or the lampstands, they had a type of Aladdin's lamp, right?
This would be the lamp.
Right.
It will be. We're working on it. But this is, as you see from the Arch of Titus here, it's, of course, over the years, the centuries, 2,000 years, it's eroded somewhat. Some of the more distinctive parts have been broken, chipped off. But apparently these are, on the very top, are little lamps. And that's where the priest would put the oil in the lamps. This is a lampstand. It's not a can. It's called candlestick. And this is, of course, symbolic of the churches, 7 churches.
Of Asia, the Book of Revelations.
These are each a lampstand. There's 7, and they are made up of the olive branch, not olive, but almond. So you have that's what this is. This is the blossom of the almond, which is related to peach. You can think of a peach. Inside the peach, you have the peach pit. So this is like the blossom, and then from the blossom emerges the fruit, and the fruit opens up and it shows the seed. So you have a succession of blossom, fruit, the pit or the seed, and then another blossom, and it's these series that form the arms.
And this is according to the description, which you just read from in the
Yeah,
Bible
did
in
you-
Exodus chapter 25.
Did you read that?
I read a portion of it.
Okay. It describes it pretty vividly. First you have the base. There's a 3-tiered base, or 2 tiers. And if you look from the top, this would be a 6-sided polygon here, like the Star of David is 6-sided. If you look from the top, and then you have the base, an ornate base, and then you have the candlestick holding the six lamps. Or I shouldn't say candlestick, I should say lampstand. That's what this
Right.
is. Or candelabra, or menorah, to use the Hebrew.
So this is going to be your base right here.
Yeah, I'll have that together. We're going to have the prisoners. I've got to get this all drawn out.
Right.
As far as I know, this has never been fully reproduced in actual size
With all the decorations
with all
on
the
it.
decorations. So what we're attempting to do is the beginning, and we're going to start on it this week. We're going to have the prisoners at the Polonsky unit in their craft shop are going to. I'm doing the drawings and the planning, and they're going to put it together over the next. Hopefully by Passover, we'll have this finished, and it'll be made of wood. And it was made of, actually the original one was cast in hollow bronze, but ours will be gold leaf on top of wood.
I think the original was full gold.
It was,
According to the Bible.
I don't think it was solid gold. I read, according to Josephus, it was gold, gold plated. Or it could have been cast gold as well, but I think Josephus said it was gold leaf.
I want to look at
like
your.
the Ark of the
I
Covenant.
want to look at your. This is the base.
This is what sits on the two-tiered base. It's this section here. This is actual size. And we're going to use this. This is a model that we're going to cast the actual base from.
All right.
So we're blowing it up. We're getting it ready. And
Why don't you stand in front of this this drawing here
well, it's
so that people can see?
well actually it should go down a little further. This would be about 5 feet, about as tall as I am. Of course, this is about right. We're judging it partly by the silhouette of this relief sculpture on the Arch of Titus, and by this we can tell this is approximately a little over 5 feet tall, which makes sense because it's not too tall for the priest. They would have to come every day and put oil in each of these little lamps and trim the wicks on the lamps to keep it burning always. So this is the beginning steps. We're just taking it off this as far as we know what it actually looked like. This was
Right.
in the Arch
of Titus.
temple.
Yeah, this is taken from the temple.
This is the spoils.
Right.
It's a parade.
The temple
This
of.
is the soldiers that are carrying this in a triumphal parade to show, to illustrate the victory over the Jews.
Right.
I think we have a better picture of the whole
This was
parade.
Right. This is the temple that stood when Jesus or Yeshua was.
Here's a better
doing his
picture,
ministry.
Steve. This is on the Arch of Titus, and this is the soldiers carrying. Here we see the edge of one of the silver trumpets, and there's the table of shewbread. There's a lot of furnishings from the inside of the temple that are being carried in a triumphal parade by the Roman soldiers through the Arch of Titus. And this, of course, we're focusing on the menorah. This menorah was also what the Great Seal of the State of Israel utilized this as well. So this is quite a relic from ancient times, and as far as I know, this is the first time that anybody has ever actually tried to produce one, a full-scale reproduction. That's what we're trying to do, and with the help of these the craft shop over at the Polonsky unit.
All right, that's it. All right, this is our menorah we're building.
Actual size.
Yeah, what we did this time is we put it on the floor so you could see.
Well, you can see how it'd be the right size for a priest. I mean, I'm 5'7", so I'm, unless they had a real tall priest or a real short one, but I'm kind of average size, so we can see that they would have access to these lamps up on top here to attend to them.
Right, this makes it easy to fill the lamps with the oil.
Well, and also trim the wick. You've got a wick. It's an old-fashioned kind of.
So this is
Aladdin's lamp.
okay. At the top they had like Aladdin lamps
Right here.
type
This
thing.
would be where the lamp would be. up on
Right.
top.
So this gives the idea of the scale of how the menorah is actual. The actual menorah as it existed in Moses' tabernacle, Solomon's temple, and the temple that exists in the time of Jesus or Yeshua in the first century.
This may actually have been built by the craftsmen of Moses.
Right.
It could have survived to the time of Yeshua and been in the temple and carried. In fact, the real one, Israel, a few years ago, demanded the Pope release
Right.
it from the Vatican archives.
There's stories that
So like Indiana Jones, they put it in this big box, and so there are Jewish people. In fact, I think the state of Israel demanded the Pope return this. So it is possible. It's kind of on the edge, but it is possible that somewhere under the Vatican, the actual menorah is still in existence. I'm not, don't quote me on that. I mean, it's credible enough for the state of Israel, and I've got that from reliable sources, said, give it back, it's ours. Well, the Pope didn't, he hasn't given it back yet. But,
right.
and this, of course, is a reproduction. We're going to build a full-scale reproduction. And because this also, I think, pertains to the Christian age or the age of the church, of the body of Messiah. because we have the 7 churches of Asia.
Revelation chapter 1, 2.
Revelation, we have the 7 churches, 7 assemblies, and so this is a lampstand. King James calls it candlestick. It's not accurate, but he didn't have candles back then. Candles are a relatively modern invention, but here's 7 lampstands that combine into one. And we realize that we are one body in Yeshua, even though we're many branches. So the picture here is he is the vine, we're the branches, and there's just a lot of very good symbolism here. All of you remember Aaron's staff, which was a almond branch that budded. That's what each of these are, is an almond series of buds and from an almond bush. So.
All right. That's it.